Hello everybody, it's Miss Jaimie from the Hampton Bays Public Library, and today is Paper Flower Garden. So we are making our own flowers out of construction paper. You can use whatever colors you have, or even if you don't have construction paper, whatever paper works for you, you can use. So I have a few different types of flowers. We have a tulip looking thing right over here. We have a regular big flower that looks kind of like a daisy. And we have our own made up flower, which clearly flowers don't come in all those different colors at once. But there they are. So you can do whatever you'd like on whatever size paper you have. And I will show you how to do it. So for these ones, I just cut up little strips. For these ones, I cut up right triangles. They have to be at least a right triangle, so they have that little right angle there. And for this one, I just did a regular triangle or an obtuse triangle, if you know your angles. And I just did strips of paper for the stems. And I have the little leaves that are just in green. So you can use whatever colors. They don't have to be real. Clearly the middle one, I have a green middle. Flowers don't usually have a green center. But you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to show you, I have a few different things. I have little ovals. I have those triangles. I have the circles for the centers. And I have the little strips of paper for those types of petals. And I have the stems. You can do whatever thickness, whatever height, whatever you want. So first, I'm just going to show you. You'll just need a piece of paper or whatever colors you want. I have all different kinds. A glue stick. Something to trace if you want your circles to be nice and neat. So I have a little Dixie cup, a pencil, and a pair of scissors. So you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna trace my little centers first and show you how to do that. I'll pick a yellow one, and I'm using the bottom because that one's smaller. So I'm going to take my pencil and my cup and gently place the cup down, hold it in place, and just go around with the pencil. And there you have it. There's a circle. Now for the ovals, I have a few pre-traced right there. I just kind of free-handed them. So if you pick out which size paper you want, if you have the normal small size 8.5 by 11, or you have the big, I think it's 12 by 14, you can judge how big you want your flower petals to be. And you just kind of eye it. You place it down and you can see what fits as you go along. So I'm going to just show another circle, and I just kind of freehand it. And you have your oval. So it's flat on one end and it's curved on the other. Now for the leaves, we have them a little bit more pointed at the end. They're kind of like the oval, but they get a little bit more pointed. So if you think of the shape of an almond, we make a curve at the top and then another curve to meet it. So it's just like a little pointed oval. The triangles, if you want to use a ruler, you can use a ruler, but I still just free-handed that. So if you know your shapes, recommend making them the right triangles or the obtuse triangles. Those are the best ones for this. Let me have that. And now, if you want to make the little stripes or your stems, you're just going to take your piece of paper, and again, you can measure it out with the ruler if you really want to. And I'm just going to cut little strips all down the paper. And they can be a little curvy. That's not exactly straight, but they can be curvy. And then you kind of judge what size you want. So they just go like that. And if you want the stems, you can pick out a nice green color. And you can make this as thick or as thin as you want. So if you have a really big piece of paper, you might want a lot of flowers on it. So you can do little thinner stems. If you just want one flower on each piece of paper and you want to put all the pieces of paper together to make a big garden, you can do that, and you can make thicker stems. So it's the same thing as the petals, except now they're going to be longer. And as I said, once you get all of these cut out, when you glue them in, then you will be able to attach them however you'd like, and you might have to cut something shorter or cut something different so that it'll fit better. So I'm going to cut everything out, and then I will be back to show you how to glue it all on. Alright, so I've just finished cutting out all of my shapes. I have all of my stripes, I have all of my triangles, I have all of my little oval petals, and I have the centers of the flowers, and I have my stems and leaves. So the next step is for you to choose what background color you would like. So you can choose, I tried to do the sky blue because I figured, well, the garden, it goes in the sky. You can do completely green if you want, like the grass, or you could even make a cutout of grass right at the bottom if you wanted to do that. And you could have all of the different things that you would like. So you can do whatever color you would like. So I'm going to stick with this sky blue color because I like it, and I could easily, if I make more than one, put them together and now they match. So I'm first going to put in my stems because that's the part that will show you where you want. So I have a really tall one, and I think if you make them different heights, then they will easily be able to fit on the page. So try it out different ways. You can do horizontal like this or vertical, and try it out, because if the petals are at different heights, they'll overlap each other, not as much as if they were all one height, and you'll be able to fit more on your paper. But you, again, can do whatever you'd like, and if it overlaps, it'll still look fine. If you see the flowers behind me in our garden here, they will overlap very close to each other. So I'm just going to take some glue, and I think I want to do it on the pieces that I'm going to glue down, not on the background paper. Especially if you're using construction paper, you might get it on the background, and sometimes the glue discolors the paper. I'm just going to glue it right in the middle, because I think the tallest stem should go in the middle. Just like that. And we can glue on another stem. You probably hear the birds. And this one is a little bit too tall, so I think I'm going to trim it. So as you go, you just can judge how your pieces will fit, and you might need to trim it again. So I'm going to just trim that, and I'm going to space it out so that there's enough space so that I think that the petals will go. Just gluing. I think for right now, I'm just going to go and do 2 flowers. I think I want to do one of the oval ones, and I think I want to do one of the triangle ones. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to choose now my center pieces. So those are the circles. And I'm going to choose which ones they go on. I'm going to do a yellow one. You might have pencil on one side, so make sure you put the glue on the pencil mark where you traced your shape. And now we have glue. I'm going to put the glue right above the stem, slightly overlapping it. And now I'm going to do the orange one on the tall flower. So now we have our 2 stems with our 2 centers, and we're just going to try to place the petals around so they look nice. And I'd like to make them even, but you know, in real life, a flower might lose its petals. Just like with the wind that's going on right now. The wind might make the petals fall off. So now I think I'm going to do the triangle petals. So I have purple and I have pink. And I recommend that you take the pointy part and you glue that towards the center. So if the pointy part is glued towards the center, and I recommend trying to just kind of, when you glue it, slide it under the center. So I think that looks better than what we did. See, right here we slid all of them under the center, but on this one they're all on top of the center, so they're kind of covering it. So I think it looks a little bit nicer to slide it a little bit under the circle. But you can do whatever you want. So I'm just going to place those around. I think I'm going to alternate the pink and the purple. And again, watch out for those pencil marks. And there's one flower. So as I said, as you go, if you run out of colors, you can just cut some more as you go along. Now we're going to do the oval color. So I have yellow and orange, and I think it's going to look kind of like a sunflower. And I noticed that this is going to be very close to my other flower, so I think it's going to overlap, and that's okay. One flower can be closer and another flower can be farther back. So it's all about perspective. So I'm just going to glue, I think in the alternating colors again, all around my circle. And it'll go all around. And there we go. So now I've got like my little sunflower and my bigger flower. And I think I'm gonna do with that empty space, I'm gonna do the little tulip. So I do have another triangle left, so that'll be perfect for the tulip. So I'm gonna pick out another stem. It's gonna be the short one. And I'm just gonna glue it right there, next to my other flower. So the tulip, I'm gonna pick this one, and I'm gonna have it shaped like that. So it's gonna be a little bit oblong and a little bit stretched out, but this is an abstract flower garden, so it doesn't have to look realistic at all. And I'm just gonna glue it right on top. And now we have all of our petals, and now it's time for the leaves. So we can glue the leaves on the stems whichever way we like. And I'm just gluing them kind of at a slant, and they're overlapping the stem. So I'm going to do that for the rest of my flowers. And some stems you can have multiple leaves on them. That's completely fine, whichever way you want. So now we've finished all of that gluing, and we have all of our different types of flowers. So we have our little sunflower looking one, we have our little triangle petal, and we have our little tulip. All of them have stems and leaves. And you do whatever colors, as I said, but if you have the nice same background, you can put a bunch together and that looks really cool. But even if you had separate background colors, that would look really cool too. So thank you. So now we have our own flower garden, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you can comment down below pictures of your own flower gardens and let me know what you made. And I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.